Chapter 1. During the reign of Herod the Great in Judea, in the year when the priesthood division of Abiah was in service, Zechariah was the high priest. When Mary was 14 years old, the high priest issued a public order that all the virgins in the temple who were to come to this age should return home according to the custom and endeavor to be married, a command to which all temple virgins received with great joy. But with the exception of Mary, who said that she could not obey this order because she and her parents had vowed to dedicate her virginity to the Lord, a vow which she was resolved to never break by lying with a man. Hereby, the high priest Zechariah was brought into a difficult situation, seeing that he cannot dissolve the vow and disobey the law, nor, on the other hand, introduce a custom to which the people were not familiar with. Therefore, he called for an extraordinary assembly of the Sanhedrin and elders from Jerusalem, that he might have their advice about the best way to proceed in such a difficult case. After they were brought together, they unanimously agreed to inquire of the Lord and ask counsel on the matters. When they were all engaged in prayers, Zechariah, according to the ritual, went inside into the inner altar, and he made prayers concerning Mary and her vow. Behold, the word of God came to Zechariah and said, "Zechariah, Zechariah, go and call together all the men of the house and family of David who are marriageable. They should bring their rods to the altar, and out of whatsoever person's rod after it be brought, a flower should bud forth, and on the top of it the Spirit of the Lord should sit, in the appearance of a dove. He should be the man whom the virgin should be given and be betrothed." Zechariah, who was deeply troubled, immediately ordered the assembly of all men of the house and family of David who were of age and marriageable, with the command that they should bring their rods to the altar. Thereafter, messengers went out through all Judea and Bethlehem, and the trumpet of the Lord sounded. Meanwhile, Zechariah, who was deeply troubled at these signs, he decided to search in the Scriptures about whether anything like this had been revealed before. Behold, reading the scroll of the prophet Isaiah, he found, "A shoot will come up from the stump of Jesse. From his roots a branch will bear fruit. The Spirit of the Lord will rest on him, the Spirit of wisdom and of understanding, the Spirit of counsel and of might. The Spirit of the knowledge and fear of the Lord will rest on him, and he will delight in the fear of the Lord." Zechariah knew that David was the son of Jesse, and he was from Bethlehem. Moreover, he knew that David was in whom rested the prophecy about the Messiah. Therefore, Zechariah rose earnestly in prayer. In these days, all the men of Judea, even those scattered in other countries that belonged to the house or family of David, were assembled, and each man brought their rods. After Zechariah had received their rods, he went into the Holy of Holies to pray. When he had finished praying, he took the rods and distributed them. However, there was no sign in accordance with the word of God. Zechariah was puzzled. Therefore, he went again into the Holy of Holies to inquire of the Lord, who replied, "He to whom the virgin is to be betrothed was the only person of those who were brought together who had not presented his rod, and he shall come forward." Among these men gathered was a widower man. He was very advanced in years, named Joseph. He retained his rod, while everyone else presented theirs. Thereafter, Zechariah came out of the Holy of Holies, and at once he asked, "Who has not submitted his rod? He should come forward." Behold, in that moment it became clear, because as soon as Joseph presented his rod, a sign appeared. A flower bud forth of the rod, and a dove appeared and flew over Joseph's head and perched on the rod. After witnessing this astonishing sign, then Zechariah said, "Joseph, you are the man chosen to take the virgin and keep as wife." However, Joseph retorted, I am an old man, and I have children, and she is too young, and I fear lest I should appear ridiculous in Israel." Then Zechariah replied, "Joseph, don't you fear the Lord your God? Remember how God dealt with Dathan, Korah, and Abiram, how the earth opened and swallowed them up because of their contradictions. Now, therefore, Joseph, fear the Lord, lest the same things should happen in your family." After hearing the high priest's warning, Joseph accepted Mary, and after he left his offerings, he returned home to get everything ready for the marriage. At that time, Zechariah informed Mary about the betrothment and everything that had happened. Mary took Zechariah's words, as was the custom. Mary returned to her parents' home in Nazareth until the appointed time for that marriage to take place.